So when we started, this was just grass and weeds. And what we did was just bought a bunch, well, we didn't buy it. We actually had them deliver a bunch of bark chips after they cut down a tree.
Ah,
and it just got dumped here, and it's about a 9-foot pile, looked like a volcano.
I would love to see that.
Actually, one day we came out here and it was smoking. It had started.
Ah, it was already composting.
Yeah.
It was composting.
So we had left the chickens out, and they just tore it up, and actually we barely had to spread it.
Look at that. Look at that. And again, using the chickens to do the work.
Yep.
And now she has a beautiful back to Eden garden, and I love it. I'm just so excited about this. What do we call this? Urban homesteading, maybe? Is this considered an urban homestead?
Neighborhood homestead.
Neighborhood homestead. I love it. I love it.
Horse manure down on regular grass.
Oh, really?
And
so you just laid horse manure on top of the grass?
On top of the grass, and then we put chicken manure on top of that.
Wow.
And then we just had the same haul of bark chips dumped, and just let it sit.
Yep, the sitting.
And then, so the leaves are from the fall, but I'm telling you,
I'm already looking at the black earth there. Look at that.
This is bark chips, and you can't dig anywhere. See the worm?
Yep.
I can dig anywhere in the garden, and there's going to be worms.
Yep. That is the beauty. You know what, friends? That's the beauty of a back to Eden garden. You know, here Dawn took us, on the side of the house. Again, creative thinking. Where on my piece of property do I have space to put a garden? And look at that! Oh, look at that! It's wonderful.
I can dig anywhere in this garden. I believe it. You're going to have a ton of worms. Oh, that's my line from my.
And that's exactly when we started our garden up in Idaho, in the Panhandle. We put our wood chips down. Within a year, that's it. Things were decomposing like this. We did the same concept. Throw on leaves, throw on needles, but get those wood chips on there, and that's what you get. You get black earth, and then you have all the microbes, and you have the earthworms. Look at that coming, and you don't have to do anything. That's the beauty of it.
And look at that. That's the first time we put a rake to it.
Look at that. Yeah.
So we'll turn it over. This is our summer garden.
We'll
turn it over and use all the, right now this is the way it looked like in the fall.
So Dawn has a garden over there, which she does for spring, and then she comes over here in the fall, and I love that concept. Especially when you're limited for space. And she has taken this plot of earth here and created it's a back to Eden garden utopia. Everywhere you look, there is purpose. There's planning. There is, I just see a bee. Look at that. Look at the beautiful bee. And
house right there.
You cannot tell me you cannot think of these things and create something like this in your own backyard. May have been a little inspiration, but look at how people even took my concept and applied it, right? You apply it to your living situation, and she made it her own. And now it helps feed her and nourish her and her family. And it is, look at the bees. And the flowers, everything has purpose. Everything has purpose, and that's what you want. You want flowers to bring in the bees and the butterflies. You want the back to Eden garden to bring in the nutrients into the soil. You want the chickens working with your garden as composters and fertilizers for you. It's self-contained. It's a frugal way to live, and it's a way that God created us to live.
When this garden starts producing, we can't keep up with it.
I bet.
Canning and freezing for the year.
That is wonderful. And you would think, like, you would imagine in your mind, the way that she's talking, that you'd need a whole bunch of acreage. You'd need 10 acres to do all this. What do you got here? A lot? Half acre?
Half acre.
Maybe
a little under an acre.
Half acre.
But not more.
It's incredible.
And then what I learned, I think the second or third year of gardening was, because this was the original garden, and what I learned was succession gardening.
Yes.
Because you plant and then you reap it and then it sits. So if you're not prepared to start the next round, then you're wasting your energy. So that's why we auction. Look at him chasing the bee.
I know. He's self-entertaining. He's self-entertaining.
That's why we put in the second garden, because the second garden, this was garden number 1. Look at him. He's barking at bees.
I know. He barks at birds too. And Dawn does not buy anything. And I'm just going to have her go through some of the things that she she basically got for free. She says she gets everything for free. She doesn't pay for anything here, and her purpose is to move away. That's going to be their long-term plan. But in the meantime, she's building the homestead, and she's building it in such a smart way that everything that she does is going to be able to be moved to her
piece of property.
The Lord's going to be providing. But we're just first of all talking about she's planting. These are all trees that you started yourself, right?
Arbor Day will send out trees. All you got to do is ask for them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
See,
think it was like $2 for postage.
perfect.
So they send out little twigs, and that's why you don't despise small beginnings.
Yes.
So we just stuck them in the pots, and people will give away their pots. I'll put it out on Facebook. Anybody getting landscaping, anybody ordering flowers, anything like that, don't throw your stuff away. Give it to me.
Valuable.
And then I planted them, and when we get ready to move on to our permanent homestead, that'll be my landscaping.
She's going to have that. She's doing her own landscaping. And then she was just showing me, look at these cute little red pots, her planters. And I thought she bought them. And then she tells me, no, I don't buy anything. And where did you get those? Yeah, well, but no, hey.
Those
and
are seed buckets.
Okay.
That's where chicken seed, when they go to the big professional chicken houses, they ship the seed in those buckets.
That's incredible.
And so
she's
they
turned
just throw them in a pile to get rid of. So we grab them.
Once again, it's somebody else's is waste, is somebody else's treasure. Everything that you see around here, she has gotten for free. She was just pointing out in the Back to Eden garden over there are barrels up against the wall there, the fence line. And what's the story there?
Well, first of all, we put them there because my neighbor's weeds and their yard is a lot more wild, and so weeds will be against there because that's the best use of space, first of all. But what happened there was my brother-in-law was driving down the road and called us and said, hey, someone's thrown out a bunch of cut in half 55-gallon water barrels.
They were already cut in half?
They were cut in half, and they were out in the
That's
street.
incredible.
Garbage to pick up. So my husband said, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Jumped in the truck.
Look at that.
Went and picked up 22 they're 55-gallon barrels that someone's cut in half.
Cut in half.
We grabbed
That's
them
incredible.
and brought them home.
That is incredible. And you know, it's kind of, this is how I look at it when Dawn explains all this. When we seek the Lord,
Yes.
He speaks to us. He brings us. And we have to be open and receptive to the Lord. And it's the same thing with Dawn's life and her walk. You open your mind and your heart up to things around you. Like they're creating this utopia here, this homestead here. And it's not like they're doing anything special, but they're opening themselves up to looking for the things that are reusable, recyclable, things that they can gather and bring into their homestead for them to use. And it's the same thing with God in our relationship. We have to open ourselves up to that. It's not just something that's going to fall in our laps. We have to seek. We have to seek. We always have to be using our eyes and our ears, and that's how I see it.
And it's like a game with the Lord, because we could go out and buy the barrels if we wanted. But why?
Exactly.
I'd rather ask the Father and have Him provide.
Exactly.
You know, why? I could go out and buy $40 barrels, but then you have to, how many gardens do you have to grow before you make that back?
Yes.
And so it's kind of like, okay, Lord, what are you going to provide for us now?
Yes.
And I really need to have some barrels, and I just wait. And God will provide, and if your heart is really to do the right thing and to eat well and to provide and to live the way He wants us to live, He'll provide it.
He will provide.
Same with the canner and canning jars and
everything. People, we are living proof that this is how the Lord works.
Yeah. So if you're short on money or you're a couple and you say, I'd love to have that, but I can't afford that. In fact, some friends of mine on Facebook just said, oh, I'd love to have a garden, but by the time you get through doing everything, it's so costly. It doesn't have to be.
That's right.
You know, if you pray and you wait on the Lord, I promise He will bring it.
Yes.
And people throw stuff out all the time.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, if you want to go buy something, go buy it if you want to. But by the time you get things free and you've used it, when you do spend that little bit of money, like $50 for a chicken coop, you know, it's kind of like, well, that's not a big dent in your budget.
Exactly. Because the Lord, It comes from that trust, walking
Yeah.
by faith and not by sight.
Another cool
Perfect
thing about
example.
those barrels was, we live in a neighborhood, so we have to be, our fences are high, but I still want to be neat and tidy, and I don't want our yard to look like a dump, and I don't want to be a bad example, a godly example for
Yes, yep.
and a good example for homesteaders everywhere. So everything we do, we try to make it neat, and I like pretty things, so I want it to be pretty as well. So the interesting thing is because we don't really have a compost pile, I would use those barrels as a compost.
Nice.
So every time we had kitchen scraps,
Kitchen scraps, yep.
we'd throw them in the barrels. Keep
Nice.
turning it over. So each one of those barrels is actually an individual compost pile. And so we don't have to have a big one. Just keep turning it over.
Perfect.
So-
Perfect for the urban homesteader.
Again, all because of you, Starry.
Well, all the glory and thanks goes to God, because He's who brought me the Back to Eden garden and started working my life without even me knowing it. He had that plan, and it's amazing how He will use us, and we don't even know what's going on. I'm like, I'm blind to all of it, and then suddenly He reveals more and more, and there's such purpose in it. So thank you, friends. We'll have more. God bless you, and thanks for coming along with me and Dawn.